So start from Brachiopoda. So it's a phylum. So that means Brachios. It is, you can say, arm-like, and podos. It is foot. So arm-like foot you can say, or branching-like foot you can say. So they are called brachiopod. So brachiopod, it is a bivalve animal. So it has two valve and it is exclusively marine. Exclusively marine animal. So it is only found in marine environment. That's why it is exclusively marine, and it is also benthic. Benthic means it is a bottom dweller. It found at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah. So Brachiopoda, it has two valve. So it is a bivalve animal, only found in marine condition. It is exclusively marine. So it has two valve. So from the two valve, one valve is larger, the other one is smaller. So it has two unequal valve. So one valve is larger, that is called as the pedicle valve. Another valve is smaller, it is called as a brachial valve. The name it is given because from pedicle valve, a pedicle emerges. That's why it is called as a pedicle valve. And here you will find brachial skeleton. So which supports the soft organ of the brachiopod. So the soft organ of the brachiopod, they are supported by a skeletal matter, that is called as a brachial skeleton. So that is present in this valve. That's why it is called as a brachial valve. So brachial valve is the smaller valve. It is the smaller valve. It is the larger valve. So the brachial valve, it is also called as your dorsal valve. It is also called as dorsal valve. And the larger valve, it is called as your ventral valve. So now we have two valves. Both are unequal in size. One is larger, which is called as a pedicle valve, also called as ventral valve. One is smaller valve, also called as brachial valve or dorsal valve. These are also two sides of the brachiopod. Then the pedicle side, or you can say this side from where the pedicles emerges. You can see here, this is the pedicle that is emerges from a opening that is called as pedicle opening. That's why this valve is called as a pedicle valve. So that is your posterior side. It is called as your posterior side, and the opposite one is called as your anterior side. In most of the organisms, always remember the side which opens is called as your anterior. Most of the case, you will find the side which is open. So a brachiopod open on this side. So that's why this is called as your anterior valve. So this is anterior side, this is posterior side, this is ventral valve, this is dorsal valve. So phylum, Brachiopod means arm-like foot. So it is an exclusively marine animal which is found only in marine condition. Okay, it is a benthic animal. So it has both, you can say, a free swimming form or attached form. Then it is a bivalve animal. It has two valve. One valve is smaller, other one is larger. The smaller valve is called as your brachial valve. The larger one is called as your pedicle valve. The smaller one is also called as your dorsal. The larger is ventral. On the side where pedicle commences, that is your posterior side, and the other one is your anterior side. So all the valve, the pedicle or brachial valve, they join together on the posterior side on a line called hinge line. So next comes to hinge line. It's a line where two valve joins posteriorly. The line along which two valve join posteriorly. So to the line along which two valve join posteriorly, इसका जो hinge line. So you can see this brachiopoda is like this. Okay. So ये जो diagram है, this diagram it is this view. So one valve is larger, one valve is smaller. So this side we are saying posterior side, and the other one is anterior side. So these two valves they join together on this line. So this line is called as your hinge line, and it opens like this. Okay. So the hinge line it helps to join the two valve. Can draw a diagram like this. So this is another view. You can see this type of view where you will see only one valve. You can see only one valve. In this view, you will see two valves. Here you will only see one valve, and you can see here the hinge line. So this is your hinge line. And this part, it is the posterior extreme end. It is the posterior extreme end. It is called as your umbo. Umbo, you can see beak. So the posterior extreme part it is called as your umbo and beak. So two valves join at line called hinge line. So you see the two valves they are unequal in size. They are unequal in size, or you can say unequivalent. But you can say each valve they can divided symmetrically. They can cut into two equal half. So that is called as your equilateral condition. So a brachiopoda cell completely we consider it is unequivalent. The two valves are unequal in size, but the valves are equilateral. The valves are equilateral. So that's why I can write down here in brachiopod it is unequivalent but equilateral. Unequivalent and equilateral. This is your brachiopod cell. These are two valves unequal in size, but if you cut the valve they can divide into two equal half, which is called your equilateral condition. So the two valve also they join along the anterior margin, because they join on the posterior at hinge line, but at the anterior margin they join along a line called line of commissure. So because the two valve join anteriorly along line of commissure. Line of commissure it is the line where the two valves joins anteriorly. Comes to dentition. So dentition means teeth. So in some brachiopod you will find teeth, in some teeth are absent. So the teeth present along the hinge line. So teeth of brachiopod present along hinge line, you can say. So teeth, always remember, if it is present along the hinge line, it helps or it prevents the lateral slide of the organism. Lateral stride means, suppose two valves are held together like this. If there will be teeth on one valve, its socket will be on another valve. So they will be like this. It will be like this. If teeth present, they will be like this, which helps or which prevents the lateral slide. So it cannot slide laterally. Cannot slide laterally. So teeth or presence of teeth on the along the hinge line, it always prevents from lateral sliding of the organism. So on the basis of your teeth present or absent, brachiopods can be of two types. One is called articulata, another is called inarticulata. So articulata means the brachiopod which have teeth. So it means only if teeth present, they are called as articulata. If teeth absent, it is called as your inarticulata. So teeth present, their teeth absent. Teeth present, teeth absent. You can take the example here: orthis, lingula, cuneta. All are your inarticulata, and orthis is articulata. Where if teeth present in one valve, then its corresponding socket will be present in the other valve. Here comes to brachial skeleton. So all the soft part of the brachiopod, they present within the brachial valve, and all the soft part of brachiopod are collectively called as lopophore. They are collectively called as lopophore. So lopophore, these are soft organs. So soft organ collectively called as lopophore. So lopophore, as it is a soft organ, it is supported by calcareous skeleton called as brachial skeleton. So lopophore, it is supported by brachial skeleton which present in the brachial valve. So there are different types of your brachial skeleton. You see types. So brachial skeleton, simple. It is, these are calcareous skeletal matter that present in the brachial valve which support the lopophore. So these are two different types of brachial skeleton. First, we have two small core plate like things that present in the brachial valve which supports the soft organ. So those are called as your crura. So this is mostly it is found in. You can take the example of Rinconella. So Rinconella, it is a brachiopod which has a brachial skeleton. There are two small core plates called as crura which supports the soft organ. Then in some case the brachial skeletons are loop-like. So here it is loop-like. Take the example of Terebrachula. Or in some organism, you can see here also in the diagram, they are spirally coiled. They are spirally coiled. So this is your, these are two variety of spirally coiled. Take the example of spiriform. So these are three types of three variety of brachial skeleton you will find. One is your two small core plate, that is your crura, you will found in Rinconella. Then loop like it is Terebrachula. Then spirally called it is spiriform. So then comes to morphology of the pedicle opening. So pedicle opening, it is opening from where you can say pedicle commence. Here you can see these are pedicles that commence from this opening. So it is present, mostly present on the ventral valve. So that's why it is called as your pedicle valve. So pedicle opening, it is a triangular opening which is present on the ventral valve, or you can say pedicle valve, but is also sometimes shared by both valve. So pedicle opening sometimes it is completely confined to the ventral valve, completely found within the ventral valve, or it sometimes shared by both valves. Suppose you'll see there is opening here, pedicle opening. Will see, say this is your pedicle opening. So it is only present in the ventral valve, or sometimes it is shared by both valves. So opening it is shared by both valves. So the pedicle opening from which pedicle commences, it may completely present on the ventral valve, or it may shared by both valves. So when it is only present on the ventral valve, it is called as your foramen. So foramen, the pedicle opening is called as your foramen when it is only present on ventral valve. Only present on ventral valve. They are called as foramen. But sometimes in some brachiopods, these are mostly in ancient brachiopod you will find only it is present on the ventral valve. But in recent or modern type you will find the opening it is shared by both valve. So opening shared by both valve. The opening shared by both valve. So when it is confined to ventral valve, it is called as your foramen. When it is shared by both valve, then it will be two types. One is called delirium, or nototherium. So when opening shared by both valve, the opening present on the ventral valve side, it is called as your delirium. So it is ventral valve side, it is your dorsal valve side. So pedicle opening is like this, you can see. This is a pedicle opening, a pedicle will commence from here. So the whole triangular thing it is your called pedicle opening. Okay. And this is your pedicle. This is your pedicle and the whole thing is your pedicle opening. So the pedicle commences from a pedicle opening. These back end space you can see. These are empty space. So here from this empty space you can see material will secrete from the pedicle wall. Material will secrete from the pedicle wall to form plates which supports the pedicle. Which supports the pedicle. So here you can say a material, calcareous material will secrete, they will form plates which supports the pedicle. So in case of your delirium is a pedicle opening. So delirium it is covered by deltidium. Deltidium. It covers the delirium. Similarly, the nototherium it is covered by chilidium. That covers the nototherium. So delirium and nototherium are openings. Those are openings. So delirium it is covered by deltidium and nototherium it is covered by chilidium. So sometimes what happens, this pedicle opening it is covered by a single plate. It is covered by single plate. Sometimes it might cover by two plates, two types of plates you can say. It covered by two types of plates. So when delthirium is covered by a single plate, it is called your delthidium. It might cover by two plates. If the pedicle opening covered by two plates, then we'll call them as deltidial plates. Simply we call them deltidial plates. If it is covered by two, nototherium is covered by two chilidium plates, it will be called as chilidial plates. If two plates are there, it can be called as deltidial plates. It can be called as chilidial plates. Sometimes these delthirium covered by three plates. Sometimes delthirium covered by three plates. If delthirium covered by three plates, if there will be three plates, then two will be deltidial plates and the third one will be called henidium. Third one is called as henidium. So this is a morphology of pedicle opening. Pedicle opening, it can present on the ventral valve solely. It is called as a foramen, or it may present on both ventral valve and dorsal valve. So opening on the ventral valve side, it is called as delthirium, and the covering of the delthirium is called as deltidium. If the more than one plate will be there, we will call deltidial plates. If there are three plates, two deltidial, one henidium. And the opening on the dorsal valve side, it is called as a nototherium. It is covered by chilidium, and if it more than one plate, it will be called as a chilidial plates. So next thing, habitat or ecology, you will find different type of brachiopod where they are free swimmers or they are attached to a particular substrate or particular rock, you can say, or they are also called as sessile. Sessiles are organisms, they are attached to something. They are attached to something, and some are free swimming. This freely swim on the ocean. So we have free swimming brachiopods. We have brachiopods that is attached by spines. They are attached by one valve and attached by pedicle. So mostly you can say these are sessile form. These are sessile form. They are attached to a substrate. Only some form are free swimming. So you have to remember the example. It is Productus, which is a free swimming brachiopod. Then attached by spine, it is your Strophalosia. Then sometimes it is attached by one valve. It is example you can take Crania. Another is your Hercocista. Hercocestria. Then attached by pedicle, it is your Terebratula. So first free swimming example is your Productus. Then attached by spines, it is Strophalosia. Attached by one valve, it is Crania. Then attached by pedicle, it is Terebratula. So you can see the brachiopod, it look like a boat. Look like a boat. So that's why brachiopod is also called as boat sail. It is also called as boat sail. It is also called as a lamp sail. Lamp sail or boat sail. Then comes to dimension of the sail. So in dimension, we measure the length, width, and thickness of the brachiopod. Length, width, and thickness. So you can just draw it on the diagram. So from anterior end to posterior end, it is your length. This is your length. So from anterior end to posterior end, it is length, and perpendicular to the length, you will find the width. So this is length, this is width. Width is generally taken along the hinge line. It is taken along the hinge line. Then we have thickness. Thickness it is measured from center of the one valve to center of another valve. Center of one valve to center of another valve. So this will be your thickness. So see, this is your length from posterior end to anterior end. This is length. Then perpendicular to the length along the hinge line, it is your width. Okay, this is your width. And thickness, center of one valve to center of another valve. That is your thickness. So on the basis of dimension, on the basis of this dimension, the Brachiopods cell can be of three types. Brachiopods cell can be of three types on the basis of this dimension. One is your spiriferid, megathyrus, and terebrachulid. One is your spiriferid, type of cell. One is your megathyrus type of cell, and is your terebrachulid. The first is your spiriferid. So this is the type of brachiopod cell where the hinge line is straight. Also in case of megathyrus, hinge line is straight. Both are straight hinge lined cell. But in case of spirifer, you can see the width it is greater than the length. So in spiriferid we have straight hinge line, the width is greater than the length. Then in case of megathyroid, the width, sorry, the length, it is slightly greater than the width. The length is slightly greater than the width. The length is slightly greater than the width. It is called as your megathyroid actually. Megathyroid type of cell. Example is megathyrus. So these are two straight hinge lined cell. One is spiriferid, another is megathyroid. So in case of spiriferid, the width is very much greater than the length, and in case of megathyroid, the length is slightly greater than the width. An example you can take spiriferid for spirifer. Example is just spirifer. Megathyroid example is megathyrus. Then comes to terebrachulid. So in this case, the hinge line it is curved, and the length is greater than the width. Hinge line is curved, the length is greater than the width. So the cell form or brachiopod cell in which the hinge line is straight, those are also called as strophic cell. Strophic cell means straight hinge line cell. Then curve, it is called as astrophic. So that means spiriferid and megathyroid form, those are called as strophic cell form, and terebrachulid it is called as astrophic. Comes to cell form of brachiopod. So there are different cell form we'll find in brachiopod. So the naming it is given on the basis of shape of the two valves. So suppose we will say this is a type of cell form. So this is one valve, this is another valve. So both valves are convex. So you can say these are biconvex. Suppose you'll find it is like this. Brachiopod, the cell form is like this. That means one valve here, it is planar, the other valve is your convex. So accordingly, the name will be given. मन रखिए easy तो मुझे देखिए दूसरा. So always remember the name is given on the basis of your suppose this is your ventri convex or dorsi convex. Dorsi convex or ventri convex means which valve is more convex. Which valve is more convex. So dorsi convex means or ventri convex means both valve are convex. It is a biconvex form. But ventri convex means ventral valve is more convex than the dorsal valve. Ventral valve will be more convex than the dorsal valve. Suppose it is like this. See, like this, ventral valve is more convex than dorsal valve. Ventri convex. Similarly, in dorsi convex, dorsal valve will be more convex than the ventral valve. Then comes to other forms. These are biconvex form. In other form, this is your a form called as plano-convex. One is planar, one is convex. One is planar, one is convex. So we can write down like this: plano-convex or convexo-plane. So when we will write down plano-convex, when we will write down convexo-plane. So always remember the first one, the first shape. It is taken from brachial valve. It is taken from brachial valve. So plano-convex means the brachial valve is planar, the dorsal valve is convex. Eh? So what is it? The brachial valve is planar and the ventral valve is convex. In case of convexo plane, the brachial valve is convex, the ventral valve is planar. So if I write down concavo-convex, then the brachial valve is concave, the dorsal valve is convex. Huh? How? But the brachial valve is concave, the ventral valve is convex. So these are simple forms. Then there is another type of form called recipunate, where a single valve can be both concave and convex. A single valve can be both concave and convex. It can be like this: ki at one end they are concave, the other end they are convex. The one end or at the ombo end they are concave, and the anterior end they are convex. Or ombo end they are convex, anterior end they are concave. If there are also two types of form or two types of shape, those are called recipunate. The recipunate, you can see the pedicle valve which is convex, so opposite concave shape near the hinge line. So if it is concave at the ombo part or posterior part, it will be convex at the anterior part. So these are different types of form. When it comes to growth and development of the brachiopod cell, so every organism will start with their embryonic stage. Every organism formed from the embryo. So all have embryonic stage. Also, brachiopod has a embryonic stage. It is called as your protegulum. So the embryonic cell of brachiopod is called as embryonic cell, which is called as your protegulum. So protegulum, it is the embryonic stage. So from the embryo, our organism completely develops. So from the embryo, the brachiopod grows in three ways. The brachiopod grows from the embryo in three ways. Suppose this is your embryo. Okay. So from this embryo, it can grow in three ways. One, the cell matter can be added equally in all sides. The cell matter can be added equally in all sides. So, if a embryonic cell of brachiopod that grow equally in all sides, those type of growth is called as your hollow peripheral growth. Hollow peripheral growth. So, in case of hollow peripheral growth, the cell matter will add equally in all sides, and the cell will be a concentric one. The cell will be concentric. Cell ta kim dekha? Concentric. So it will produce a concentric cell. So in case of hollow peripheral growth, the cell matter will add equally on all sides of the embryo. Similarly, in case of hemiperipheral growth, so what is hemiperipheral growth? So if you add more cell matter, so cell matter will be here, it will be added unequal. It will be added one more on one side than other sides. So here in case of hemiperipheral growth, the cell matter added more on the anterior side, added more on the anterior side. If cell matter will added more on the anterior side, the cell will be like this. It will be a transverse cell. It will be a transverse cell. You can see this is the anterior side. More metal is added to the anterior side. It will be extend on the anterior side. Okay, so this is your hemiperipheral growth. This is called as your hemiperipheral growth, where more metal will added on the anterior side. Then comes to another type growth, that is your mixoperipheral growth. So first we have your hollow peripheral growth, where cell matter will added equally in all sides. Then we have hemiperipheral, where cell matter will add more on the anterior side than all other side. Another mixoperipheral, where cell matter will added equally added in all sides. It will cell matter will added in all sides, but it will more in posterior side. It will more add on the posterior side. So first it will add more cell matter will be added equal in all sides. Then in case of hemiperipheral, added more on the anterior side. In case of mixoperipheral, cell matter will added in all sides, but more on the posterior side. So if you add more material on the posterior side, so if we add more material on the posterior side, then this umbo part, it will grow. It will grow, and at some point it will bend like this. It will bend like this. Because if you are adding more material on the anterior side, it will be a transverse cell. It will extend in the anterior direction. But in posterior direction, if you add more material, the umbo part, it will extend and it will bend. So when it will bend, it will produce a shelf-like structure here. Shelf, book shelf type of structure here it will produce. That is called as your palintrope. It is called as your palintrope. So palintrope will form in case of mixoperipheral growth. Palintrope in case of mixoperipheral growth. You will find a structure called palintrope. So palintrope, it is, you can say, a self-like extension produced because of more material addition on the posterior side. Because if you add more metal on the posterior side, the umbo will grow, and at some times it will bend on itself. bend towards itself, we can say that is a self-like extension called as palindrome. So it is like a carved hook, you can say, or it is also like a beak. It comes to cell structure and composition of the brachiopod. So you have two types of brachiopod basically on the basis of dentition. There are also two classes of brachiopod, articulata and inarticulata. So the cell structure are different in case of articulata and inarticulata. So the cell wall of articulata brachiopod, it has 3 layers, and cell wall of inarticulata, it has 2 layers. So only one layer is absent here. So you have 3 layers. One is your periostracum, primary and secondary. In case of articulate or articulata, which are teeth. So in case of articulata brachiopod, we have 3 types of cell, 3 types of layer in the cell. One is periostracum, primary layer and secondary layer. So periostracum, it is the outer non-calcareous layer. It is another outer non-calcareous layer. Then primary, it is middle calcareous layer, and secondary, it is, can say, the inner calcareous and inorganic layer. Then we have, in case of inarticulata, only the secondary layer is absent. We have periostracum, outer non-calcareous layer, and primary layer were composed of alternative band of calcium phosphate and chitin. So these are the cell composition and structure of brachiopod. So in case of more cell structure of brachiopod, we have either 3 layers or 2 layers. So in case of articulata, we have 3 layers: periostracum, primary, secondary. In case of inarticulata, we have 2 layers: periostracum and primary. So these cell wall or cell layers, they can be perforated. They can be perforated. That will be a hole or pores that started from the primary or secondary layer to the external surface of the cell wall. So that is called as perforation, and the brachiopod, they possess this type of perforation, are called punctate brachiopod. So on this basis, we have 3 types of your you can say structure in the cell: impunctate, endopunctate, which is punctate, and pseudopunctate. Impunctate means there is no perforation on the cell wall. There is no perforation on the cell wall. Punctate means there is perforation, there is hole on the cell wall. It is perpendicular to the cell, you can say. It is similar, simpler hole that penetrates from the inner layer to the outer external layer. And pseudopunctate, they are not hole, they look like hole. Those are structure, hole like structure, but they are not hole. So simple, we can say there are 2 types of brachiopod on the basis of this perforation. One is punctate, another is impunctate. So punctate means there is a perforation within the cell structure. Impunctate means there is no perforation. So you can write down just in punctate, there are 2 types of cell structure or 3 types of cell structure. You will find impunctate, there is no perforation within the cell structure. Punctate, there is a perforation or hole that traverse within the cell layers. And pseudopunctate, these are structures that look like a punctate structure. They look like punctate structure. These are your punctate cell. Okay, and this is the top view. This is the top view of the cell, and this is the traverse or cross-sectional view. Then comes to ornamentation. So in most of the your invertebrate organism or most of the organism, you will find ornamentation like they have radiating lines or concentric growth lines. Like this, you will find like these concentric growth lines or these radial lines. These are called as ornamentation. But in case of brachiopods, you will find 2 types of special ornamentation structure. So these are, you can see, these are lines. Those are concentric radial lines. So these anterior portion, this anterior end, it is a folded like structure. It is a folded like structure. The anterior end, it is a folded like structure. So it has a ridge here, and on the opposite side there is a depression. So these are called as ornamented features. These are called as ornamented feature. The ridge, it is called as your plica. It is called as your plica, and every plica has a depression on the opposite side. That is your sulcus. That is your sulcus.